Here, you can exercise your rights to freedom every day without leaving your home. We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Surprise.
Open my transfer.
No, I. Lawyer was so cookie, so I decided to buy a new one.
What beg I put my transfer?
I want that thing of it.
Any?
No, pet minister wins out on fair.
No.
Won't let me to pay the gas and I'm condoning. Crack! Wena gogo namhlanje uzohlaza enye inyongo ongakazihlaza
Uze niphule ebuthaweleni angithi
I'm sorry, Gogo. Lillian.
Go. Kaphereka mone, kaphereka.
Hoi. Tafel het sy lekker curry.
Good day and welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele. Who thought that a tea lady at a furniture factory and a credit clerk for retail stores would ever receive Best Actress from the Theatre Guild, the Star Tonight, the Astra Awards, as well as the Artists Awards? She also received the Golden Horn Lifetime Achievement Award from the SAFTAs in 2011, as well as the Lifetime Achiever Award from the Theatre Guild in 2014. She was bestowed with the IFA Hall of Fame Award and received an honorary doctorate from the Tshwane University of Technology for Drama and Film Production. She is the one, the only, the original Sister Bettina Liliian Dube.
Konozola
Zipi kwa Siyahamba manje siyadepe. I need to see you dance to that song once in your lifetime.
Oh, I love it so much.
And it's a song, Mos.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is the national anthem.
Oh, I love Sister Bettina.
Right after Nkosi Sikeleli.
No, Nkosi Sikeleli comes after.
Listen, my favorite part about you is the fact that when you were a child, if something wrong happened, even if you weren't there, they were like, Ukupu Lillian, because
exactly.
It's her. And that hasn't stopped. You've still got like the stoic nature about you.
At 72, I am so naughty. And I can't stop.
But I mean, this
fun.
This all started in Lesotho days.
Hey, it's fun. Being naughty is fun.
Being naughty is fun. When you used to go on school trips and your grandmother, who you didn't get along with, would pack you just ipap and salt.
And salt. Hi, Wena, how do you know all these things?
Because I know you. I get to 72 years, there's a lot of things you've done. I know them all.
Shame, and I didn't even realize that was bad. When other people put their chickens and their meat, and I also contributed with my pap and salt and ate their meat, and they used to be so angry, and I never realized.
But I mean, obviously you were that person who was always entertaining and people always wanted you around.
Yes, thank God for that. Thank God for that.
So how were you when you were a domestic worker? Were you like as entertaining? Did your
What do you entertain? The dogs? It was hard times, my dear. You know, today when I was listening to some of the Zimbabwean people saying they had to be petrol attendants, do whatever work for survival, that's me. Yeah, I couldn't go into the street and say, people of God, hey, no man, you know what? I went and worked as a domestic, and I worked as if I was born to do it. I loved it. But it wasn't my ceiling. But I survived.
So when you had to leave school, because you didn't finish matric, and you had to leave school and you had to drop out, that decision, obviously, as a child, you don't make a decision that I'm going to stop school. What pushed you there? What was that thing that made you realize, okay, there's no future?
With us, when I say us, no, in fact, with me, I didn't know why people went to school. I just knew go to Uyoshawa. So I'm fun. Also, I used to read Lama Liliian about Hadley Chase. My mother hated them. I used to read it in the loo. And Mills and Boons. Bengazi nje ukuthi you grow up, get married, and live happily ever after. Kanti kuqala kwenyaka nyaka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, because Mills and Boons is a fairy tale.
But mina ngazi ukuthi bazochata and then
a man is going to come, sweep you off your feet, buy you a house, buy you a car. When do you...
rude shock after marriage.
After
I realized that ukuthi ayikho lento marriage. But yabona bebesifakela pressure. Zenda zamshiya uzoshata nini. So you just had to get married. Also, I didn't have a place to stay. And during our days, even to hire a back room, you had to have a husband. Otherwise, people didn't like you. And during our apartheid days, if you didn't have a husband, even if you had a husband, you couldn't get a house on your own. So there were so many reasons for us to get married. That is why there are so many divorces. Say you had a brother and your parents die. You were chucked out of the house. As a result, some children got married just to save their home.
Sure. So now, because you are now that aunt, you are now that gogo in our lives, are you always asking people when are they getting married?
Never. In fact, people get amazed when I say, Anele, are you married? And you say, no, I said, clever girl. Do you have children? No, clever girl.
But how? No. Your son is the one who told you to go and become an actress. Surely then you should tell people they must have children because he saw something in you that you didn't see.
No, sweetheart, it must be your choice.
Okay.
During our time, it wasn't your choice. You get married today, 3 months later.
Can't you meet anyone? Yeah.
It's nice to have children, but you shouldn't be forced.
You do a lot.
And the people who say you must have children, they're not even going to look after them. They're not going to take them to school. It's going to be your responsibility alone. But you are supposed to get married, have children.
Okay, but when you did have your child, was it your choice or were you doing it out of obligation?
It was not even, what will I say? I nearly didn't have a child.
Why?
Because I couldn't fall pregnant. And thank God I couldn't, because if I was able to fall pregnant, I don't know how many children I would have had of different fathers. Thank God, thank God. I didn't fall pregnant easily. And guess what, how I got pregnant? By taking the pill. And I was saying to my doctor, I was working at Barra then as a clerk. So I go to my doctor, who was our doctor as the staff members.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fall pregnant. Nothing happened.
But okay, were you in a relationship?
I was married. Ooh. I used to prevent Mina. Guess what? Guess what? How I prevented? Closed my eyes when I had sex. And it worked for me. I never fell pregnant.
Please do not think.
Scared.
Wait, please do not think that by because I mean we trust her and she was Sister Bettina. Please do not think that by closing your eyes that is a contraceptive. It's on meter.
It worked for me.
Okay.
I was so scared of falling pregnant, having a child before marriage.
Okay.
That whenever I had sex, I really squeezed my eyes.
But who are you scared of?
Because I wasn't going to.
You know who you're scared of? You don't live with your grandmother anymore. You don't live with your parents. Why are you scared? Who are you disappointing if you have a child before marriage?
I didn't have money.
Okay.
I was never going to have a child when I didn't have a home and when I didn't have a husband. How was I going to raise that child? Yeah, so I was afraid. Thank God, it worked for me. As a result, even though I opened my eyes after marriage, I never fell pregnant. So I went to a fertility clinic at Barra. And then the doctor gave me the pill, the one that you used to prevent. And I said, you want my husband to think that I don't want to have children deliberately? He said, trust me. I trusted him, of course. He gave me the pill. And on the day I was supposed to go to the fertility clinic to have womb scraping, guess what? I had a Murse headache. So I had to go and see the same doctor. I said, doctor, I've got this headache, and at 1 o'clock, I'm going for womb scraping. And he took my urine and said, congratulations. I said, what? He said, you're pregnant. See how beautiful God is.
Okay.
Had I not had that headache, I could have gone straight for womb scraping.
And then destroy the child.
Yes, and so I am very thankful. I had one child, but because I divorced, another thing I was afraid of is having children of different fathers, Tamati, Anganes, and all the assorted biscuits. Yes. So I said, no more.
Okay, I want to stop you there. After the break, we're going to talk about the divorce, how it happened, and how your life went better after that. And then the day your son told you, Mama, I heard a radio advert.
Yes.
You are the one that they're looking for. Look, we've seen her in numerous roles playing a variety of characters, but Mom Lillian had a struggle. She kept herself for a very long time. Later on, we'll talk about that, the depression, the fight with cancer. Make sure you stay right where you are. This is going to be enlightening. And welcome back to Real Talk. Veteran actress Liliian Dube is with us in studio today. Although her life in the spotlight might seem glamorous to many people, there was a darker side as well. She struggled with depression. It was only when she played Sister Bettina Kumalo in Soul City that she said that she had a light bulb moment and she realized what she had been suffering from. So when people call you a veteran actress, do you say, Vele, I am?
It's nice. Huh? It's nice.
It's nice, ne? You a legend. And people are like, no, I'm not a legend.
I am, sweetheart, I am. And I enjoy it.
And you enjoy it.
Yes, so, I've worked for it, I deserve it.
I mean, you come from a place where you say that you used to have to cover the house with blankets so the police couldn't see that you guys are watching TV. And the TV would be underneath the table.
How do you know all these things? And if you go to any house in Soweto, you knock, everybody say, come in. They're watching TV because we were not supposed to have electricity because we were not paying for it. So the guys would connect and tell us, you cook during the day because the police can't see. In the evening, they patrol and they'll see. So you cover the windows with blankets and you put the TV and then they think, oh, they don't have electricity. Meantime, we're having fun. You
see, now this for me is why your life is so wonderful. You come from a place where you're watching TV underneath a table, and now you are on TV, and you are a
How do you like that? How do you like that?
How do you like that?
It's into for me.
Tell us how your son told you about that day.
My son used to like to move my TV from Lorenzo Max radio. You know what Lorenzo Max is? Lorenzo Max in Mozambique.
Yeah.
Mozambique used to be Lorenzo Max. So it's something, it was a very lovely radio, good music, something like Kaya FM today.
Okay.
Yeah. So you would always move it to Sesotho, and I would be so angry with him. And he said to me, Mama, where's Kawata? Because Kawata at that time. She said to me, Mama, where's Bulala? Because on Sesotho radio, they were speaking about auditions for people who want to be on TV. And I said, why do you think, then I was working for Greater Men's, why do you think I want to be on TV? He said, because when I go to the movies, the people I see act exactly like you, or you act like them, something like that. And to please my boy, and I went for auditions. He even told me when to fetch the script. And he said, I'll help you. Yeah, bless him. Bless him for that.
So then you go to the auditions, and what's your first job?
I go to the auditions, and then I don't get a job, so I thought. Meanwhile, I got it, but the guy, Kifuyo Muhoban, who was there, told Mr. Roots that I'm Dube, so I can't be a Mosotho. So Mr. Roots, bless his heart, said to Kifuyo 3 months later, please bring me that lady. Even though she's Dube, her Sesotho is perfect.
Yeah.
So he sends him to go and fetch me.
Where does he find you, at your house?
Yeah, he is. And then he finds that I come from Lesotho. Okay, I was born in Joburg, but my parents come from Lesotho. And he knows some of my family. I know his. And he apologized. That's how I know this. He said, really, just because you are Dube, I thought you were Zulu. So I really wanted to use a Mosotho. Yeah, so which shouldn't be like that. If you can speak a language, then why not?
It should be yours.
Yes, yes. So, but that was for dubbing, not for acting.
Okay.
Yes, you know what dubbing is.
When In the Heat of the Night used to play.
Ah, you were there, Mus. In the and my favorite was the Jeffersons.
Yes.
And I played Louise. Yes, Louise. Oh, she was hectic. So I had problems with my friends. They thought I was a liar. Because I couldn't explain to them what dubbing is. I would say that is me, pointing at Louise.
No, it's not.
And they thought, it's Amshielo. Yeah, because I couldn't, and then, I had fun. And I remember playing the Flamps, and there was Tintin. Then I did TV work, and I started with cameo roles. Those days, we did mostly biblical stories, and I played Meha Night. We had fun. Yeah.
Why do you say black people are naturally good actors?
We are actors, because when they ask you why you're late, you say the dress was long. Just to confuse the madam.
So you say because we've been lying to our madams and our bosses for years.
Especially me, yes. The dress was long and one didn't come. The madam has no idea what the dress is. Why didn't you cut it? She's got no clue that a dress is a queue. And then 01 was late, which is a train. But you see how confusing it is? And you always had to lie. To lie. For a dompas, for everything.
Yes, because you didn't have a dompas. You're from Lesotho, so you were always...
I was born here, but my mother unfortunately sent me to Natal, from Natal to Lesotho, without taking necessary papers for me. So I was always given 72 hours to leave Joburg, and that really sent me into depression. When I saw a policeman, I used to go like this. Yeah. Because they could just stop you and say, pass. Bless you, sweetie.
Thank you.
It's my perfume.
So every time you see a cop when you were living in jail...
Do you know those cops?
Okay, so is this dumper situation, is it happening whilst you are now on your way, your Wadapa, in the Heat of the Night, the Jeffersons?
Oh, no. When I was doing with the Jeffersons and all that, I already had my...
Oh, so you were
my
legal?
Dompas sweetheart, yes, I was legal.
You were fine.
And I got my Dompas over a packet of chocolate. I tried to say I was born here and all this. Unfortunately, a friend of mine who has died, who worked at the post office and was in a good relationship with a white person, and she told him that this is my neighbor, we grew up together, I know she was born here. Over a packet of chocolates, she gave her those chocolates and I got my pass, which I was entitled to anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So which role would you say was the one that made you the Liliian Dube?
I am thinking, Soul City didn't make me. I was made already.
Generations?
No, I was made already. Even when I went to auditions, I said, see you on set. And Fred Stark was so angry. And I said, I'll see you on set. No director wants to hear an actor say that, but that's how good I felt I was.
Yeah.
And I didn't need a job.
Yeah.
That's why I said, see you on set, and he was angry. But he had to use me because I knew I nailed it. I was made by Masi Chaba. You don't know Masi Chaba. With the late Rosalind Morapedi, the beautiful lady who used to sing so beautifully. She died when they were filming in Kwakwa. You don't know Rosalind?
No, I don't.
Do you know
Maybe I know her
Mupeme?
face.
Do you know Mupeme?
Mupeme used to play around. No, I don't.
Oh, anyway, she was the most beautiful lady. Masi Chaba, I was playing a role of Mother Teresa. I played it so well, so much that one day in the series when I got ill, one lady got ill for sure and woke up at Para because she was thinking, this kind woman, how can she get ill when she's helping people? But you know what that role did for me? People would get jobs and come to me and say, Mama, I got this job, but I've got no shoes. And I would be bound to buy shoes because I was a very helpful person.
Yeah.
And that role, I owe my now character to that role because it made me a better person to want to help all the time. Even today, I still help, and some take advantage. It doesn't matter. If you have to take advantage of me...
Take it all.
Yeah,
They'll never finish you.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll never finish you. I always
So
think...
I enjoy giving,
Yeah.
and that role really molded me.
Okay.
Yes.
So look,
Masicha.
if you think you or someone you know might be suffering from depression, there is help. Visit the South African Depression and Anxiety Group's website or phone the 24-hour helpline number on your screen. Mom Lillian will be back, and now we're going to go in depth as to how she knew she had it. And she says that there are 3 stages of depression, and she went through every single one. We'll talk about that right after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Real Talk, only on SABC 3. So in 2007, Mom Liliian Dube was diagnosed with breast cancer and was discovered in a routine check. She underwent a single mastectomy and chemotherapy. In 2015, she had to fight a renewed battle. We'll get to that right now. So you say that there are 3 stages of depression. It's bottomless, there's a dark pit, and there's hopelessness, right? Now, this is how you felt long before you played the role.
I don't wish it on my worst enemy, Mtanam. Depression. And also it leads to death. Because once you're hopeless, what is there? There's no life. It could be daylight, but for you, it's midnight. If I owe you 5 rand and I'm depressed, for me it feels like 5 million.
Really?
Yes, it just twists things around, and the worst is hearing voices, people calling you, rushing to them, only to... Actually, depression is madness.
Nah.
Total loneliness. You are cut off from people.
But I mean, now, in 2017, it's still a stigma, especially with like people where you're like, I'm depressed, people like, you're lazy, or, you know. Imagine back then.
It's still a stigma because people do not know what depression is.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the problem. They don't know. People just say, oh, these days, oh, she's very moody. I don't want to go out with her because you don't want to do anything. Then they'll tell you, pull yourself towards yourself. There's no yourself. You are not there. Yeah, nothing interests you. You don't do the things you used to love. And it's
Is there
worse.
a trigger? Is there a trigger that sets depression off for you personally, or is it just something that's inherently in you? It's in your DNA and you will experience
I
it?
don't think it was in my DNA. I think my life was such a mess that I don't know at what time. Because, you see, I had it all planned. I was going to get married, have children, and live happily ever after. And the one thing I was afraid of in my whole life, which I still am afraid of, is poverty, because I come from poverty. So I wasn't going to be poor. And when I saw that with my first husband, we were going to be real poor because... I'm not going to talk about him, his children are going to kill me. So, but just having a failed marriage. Also, in our days, if you divorce, your friends, when you were married, don't become your friends anymore. You are now a threat. Yeah, not because you are pretty, just because you are available.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so also you feel you failed yourself. And not many people divorce even when they are in terrible marriages, because that also, it was taboo. But really, I encourage women, don't stay in a bad marriage. That can kill you. That can kill you. So coupled with not having an ID and how I grew up, I think at one stage then it all just, and I became depressed.
So what?
Because life was not going the way that, because when I had it all planned, and I was seeing that now I'm going to be real poor. And being poor is not nice. Not knowing what you're going to eat, and not knowing how your child is going to school. No, it's depressing. But thank God, and guess what? During my days, going to the doctor was useless. You go there, and unfortunately for me, I had a friend of mine who had a heart trouble, and she had a pacemaker. She took me to the doctor for my depression. No, that all the doctor was interested in was her pacemaker, as if I was not there.
But didn't you go to a doctor for depression and they gave you a Panado?
That's at the hospital, Para. Yeah, but at this private doctor now, my friend takes me to a private doctor. All he's interested is in my friend's pacemaker. And she's also taking center stage, explaining her heart and all that.
So then...
Do you know how I got healed?
That's what I want to ask you.
God is good. In a train. I didn't have money for first class, so I was in a third class. And I hated those people who used to preach in coaches, in train coaches. But this guy, you know, sometimes God works in miracles. Sometimes, even in church, they will just choose a verse that
speaks to you.
And this guy was saying, yeah, some people get hurt and they become unhappy for the rest of your lives. What about Jesus Christ? They spat on him, they did this and did this. And when you're thinking that you've been betrayed and now you can't go on with life, something in me said, who the hell am I? And I started living again. And also going to church. I don't say people must go to church. You must go to the doctor. You must go to the church because you want to go to church. But what I'm saying, when you listen to the preachings every day, something has to give.
So would you say depression is a mind thing or is it a spirit thing?
It's everything. Physical, spiritual, mind thing. I don't know how to describe it. I think it's worse than death. With death, it's final. Depression, you're going to die, but you're not dying.
But you feel
dead. You must, yeah.
Okay, so lots of voice notes are coming through. People love you. Let's roll them.
Shem, I know they do. Because I love them. But
my man.
Anele and Liliian Dube. It's so crazy how people say that, how can I look up to a woman who's over 70 years old because of, I'm 20, but I think that her life is inspiring. Her journey throughout is very inspiring. I just want to say that I love you, Tony from Flakka.
Do you ever get used to that? Like, because I'm sure when you walk in shops, people are like, woo, I'm Lillian.
Do you know how grateful I am for that? Because when I was diagnosed with cancer in 2007, I only knew that I was going to die. Guess what? I go to the mall in Cresta where I stay, and the car guys come to me, Mama, you're not going to die. We've prayed for you already. With such, like, I said, and I believed them. So when people say they love me, I become very happy because I love people, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Especially the crazy ones.
The ones that remind you of you.
Those that people think they'll amount to nothing. I hate it when people say, you are not going to amount to anything. I really hate it. I don't like parents saying that to their children or to anybody because we are all work in progress.
Another voice note.
Hi guys, this is Anesipa from Luri. I want to say to Mom Lillian that she still looks ravishing even though she's 72 years old. She must keep that beauty.
That I love more than anything. Because when I grew up, I had beautiful cousins. And people would say, oh, these children are so beautiful.
I know that.
How do you know that?
Oh, shame.
Hey,
yeah. But what you always preach is that love your body. It's the only body you have. Love it, flaunt it, and then you're like, don't worry about what men think. Men don't know what they want themselves.
The only person that knew I was beautiful was my mother. And then I read in the paper, when they laugh at you, they say, oh, she's only beautiful to her mother. And I thought, yeah, but the people were unkind. And today when people say I'm beautiful, I'm thinking, where is this coming from? But I'm beautiful because I feel beautiful.
And you are beautiful. And
you've got to be truthful, and you'll be surprised how you're going to enjoy life. And you hide nothing.
Hide nothing.
Nothing.
We're going to speak about you hiding nothing because actually that's how you say is how we can find cancer at an early stage. When you hide nothing and you know your body. Yes. Liliian Dube will be here after the break. We're speaking cancer. Welcome back to Real Talk. It's not only Liliian Dube's success and contribution to the entertainment industry in the past 3 decades that makes her a force to be reckoned with. It's also a contribution to social causes that make her absolutely extraordinary. Now, you say you feel like you asked for cancer. Why?
Because my friend's husband was owing me $250. He woke up early in the morning to pay me because he was dying. And I said, Musa, why do you bother? But what I envied was the fact that they were staying in Soweto. He bought a house in Veldafregen. He taught his 2 girls how to drive. He said, I don't want my wife to be driving to Soweto when I am sick, because he was actually admitted at Charlotte Matlake. So she said, I don't want. And then he and the wife went and chose where he's going to be buried.
Wow.
And they even chose a tombstone. And then he threw a Morse party for us.
It was the party where you were
And we drank,
Come, Nandi.
And then there came a time when he couldn't talk because it was.
Throat cancer.
And he was just writing. I said, hey, that's a nice disease, man. You can clean up everything and then go. Unlike just dying at night from heart attack. Yeah, with cancer, you get an SMS, you get an email, WhatsApp, go and we are in the, what do you call it when you go to the airport? Lounge layer.
It's
the departure lounge.
Yeah.
We know we are in the departure lounge.
That so but just not living now, Maria.
Yeah, but still, other people don't know they're going to die. They think they're going to live forever. So with cancer survivors, you know you're going to die, and you've made peace with it. And you're just living it up. That's why we go on motorbikes.
But I mean, now you're fine. You're not dying now.
You can die now.
Okay, look, we're all dying, you say, because we're all headed towards there. But you're not sick now. You've beat cancer twice.
Twice, my darling. Twice. Yes. Initially, the first one, I did a lumpectomy. A lumpectomy is only when they remove the lump.
Yeah.
And I still kept my breasts, but they cut them.
Yeah.
So that I don't look like a zoot. So in 2015, it came back. Thank God it was a different cancer.
Yeah.
Because they tell me
why
if it
thank
was...
God?
Because if it was the same cancer, I would not have survived it. And I want to use this opportunity. I meet with people who tell other people that they must be like Mam Liliian Dube. She's beaten cancer. I want to tell them that there are so many different cancers. There are those cancers that don't care what treatment you are on, you just die in 3 months. So it's not because I'm brave or what. Okay, attitude does help. But it's not only that. Our cancers are different. Our personalities are different. So be gentle with people. Don't say, be like Liliian Dube. Liliian Dube are sang. Not everybody's mad.
Liliian Dube also said people are not killed by diseases, they're killed by ignorance.
Ignorance, yes.
Unpack that.
Yes. People do not know their bodies. They don't. If some people don't even want to see what they are washing, you must see what you are washing, so that you can see what is there. You must look at your body. I have a mirror in my bathroom. So that when there's something new in your body, you go to the doctor and ask, what is this? But I want to really, really thank Soul City. I always say, Bobby Hini, wherever you are, thank you for having chosen me to play the role of Sister Bettina, which saved my life. Because I was teaching people about cancer and all that. They say you cannot give a rose without...
Getting the thorns.
Without the smell. Without the smell remaining with you.
Okay.
No, it's not the smell, the aroma.
Yeah.
So, because I was teaching other people, I also got taught. So, I was in the habit of checking my breast. I hope you're checking yours. Yeah, especially after 40. Before 40, 7 days after your period, make sure that you check. So, I was taking a bath. And I realized that my breasts were not equal. Breasts aren't equal, but they were more pronounced on that day. And I started touching. And I felt a little lump. It's not a huge thing like an apple. It's like a pea. Thank you. So, and then I went for mammogram. Thank God, because of Soul City, I started doing yearly mammograms. I went for my mammogram. They said, no, you're fine. As I was about to leave, this radiographer said, no, Mama, Last year, this dot was small. And I said, which breast? She said the right one. So it confirmed what I already knew. They did biopsy. But if I was ignorant, cancer in the initial stages is not sore. That is why we create awareness. You could be sitting there laughing, there's no pain, nothing. And then you go to the doctor, you've got cancer, and then they're going to cut your breast. You don't want to lose your breast because it's not sore. So unless you know, it is difficult to agree. That's why you'll go to the witch doctors. I don't know. I don't want even to go there. There are people who claim they can cure cancer. I'm not saying they're lying. But for me, I had to go the way of everybody for mammogram and go through chemo and everything. Okay, they did cut my breast. Now I've got one breast before and after. Here I've got nothing. These are mine. So the nice thing is I get to make them the way I like. So, my sweetheart, people die from ignorance because you'll be taking different medicine and not addressing the real issue.
The real issue.
Yeah. So you do have to do self-breast examination. That is why I encourage men to suck those titties.
In a romantic way, like when we are...
Yeah, don't just go to the tills.
Okay.
Start with the frills.
Okay.
Yes, suck those titties.
Okay.
Because a lot of men, by doing that...
They're the ones who find out when there's something wrong with
It's
you.
not a joke. I know people love to laugh. But I like it when people laugh because that's when they're educated.
And then they're getting the message.
And the ladies, I encourage them to touch those polyps. If your husband says, hey, nah, testicular cancer.
Do something.
And the things I'm saying people must do, they are very fun things to do.
And they could save your life.
You see?
We literally have 30 seconds left, but there's a voice note for you that I want you to hear. Please play it.
Good afternoon, Anele, and good afternoon, Mom Lillian. Listening to your story, your life story, is something that I can identify with. And I would like to just commend you for all that you've been through and still the strong woman that you are today.
You're lying, you're not crying.
I am. That's how I cry. God has been very good to me, sweetheart. Yeah. You know what, Anele, the surprising thing, I only learned now when I'm 72, that everything, all the nonsense that's happening in our lives, that is life. But I only realized it this year.
You thought, no, it will pass,
I thought life was
and
something
I'll be
beautiful.
happy.
But life is what, and then just embrace it and love it. And it's such a beautiful world.
On that note, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.
It's too short. It's too short. You haven't even asked me about my doctorate. And you didn't even say Dr. Liliian Dube.
Dr. Liliian Dube is leaving. She'll be back one of these days to talk about other things. Tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow.
It's too short.
Who's on tomorrow? They're going to have to shift aside and then we're going to be here together, okay?
Sweetheart,
Dr.
I
Lillian.
am so happy.
Thank you
that you asked me to come because I've been afraid to come because I thought I couldn't talk to you because you make me laugh. I haven't laughed, thank God.
Now you're laughing. Oh,
yes,
listen.
because we finished.
Thank you so much. Oh, what can we say? The one thing I'm taking away from that is the fact that all these things that happen to you, that's life. Don't think that when that is done, then your life will begin. Everything happening to you right now, the Dr. Liliian Dube said that's life, so go out there and live it. We'll be back after the break. There's a drug out there. If you're a parent, you want to stay. Flakka, killing kids. Come back. Welcome back to Real Talk with Anele, only on SABC 3, where the stage is yours. So listen, earlier I said, if you're a parent, you need to stay and listen to us. In fact, children as well. An extremely dangerous drug, Flakka, or the so-called zombie drug, made its way to South Africa. Apparently, it's 10 times more powerful than cocaine and is disguised as candy. With me in studio is Quentin van Kerken from Anti-Drug Alliance Clear Option. We welcome him. Welcome back, actually. Last time you didn't have a beard.
No. I'm either winning a bet or losing one. I don't know. We'll see at the end of the month.
I'm leaning towards losing one. But that's my friendly side.
Thanks.
I'm being your friend.
Oh, thanks.
Quentin, okay, literally I found out about this drug 2 weeks ago. my producer came to me, he's like, have you heard about Flakka? And I was like, okay, that's another rapper. And she said, no, it's a drug, it's out there, it's bad. Tell us about it.
Okay, so I think to dispel a lot of rumors, number one, there's a drug out there called Flakka.
Yeah.
Number two, I think there's a lot more hype around it than it needs to be.
Okay.
That being said, I'm not saying it's not dangerous.
Okay.
Okay. So if we really want to just get technical for about 10 seconds, Flakka is a cathinone, so it forms part of methamphetamines. The word cathinone is very similar. You would have heard it before, meth cathinone, or the drug cat. Now, cat and Flakka are pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
There's a few oxygen molecules and hydrogen molecules difference, really.
Yeah.
And oftentimes people that make cat could possibly have made Flakka by default, because a little bit too much heat and a little bit too little there and a little bit too much there, and all of a sudden you've got a completely different drug.
Okay, so now why is the narrative it's 10 times stronger than cocaine?
Look, any methamphetamine is going to kick your butt. It's people wouldn't do them if it just gave them a little buzz. You know, people do cats and crystal because it's hard, and that's why they use it. A drug like Flakka, I think a lot of people think that it's the zombie drug. I want you to know it's not the zombie drug. Not one of the cases that has come forward that has said that it's Flakka related has been proven to be a Flakka case.
Is that South Africa and internationally?
South Africa and internationally. In fact, in one of the big ones, there was that guy that was accused of cannibalism. In fact, he ate the person's face off.
Yeah.
Literally, it was a horrible thing. And they said, oh, it's Flakka related. He was known to have used it. And doing tox screens and stuff on him immediately after that caught him, there was nothing in his system. However, they did find something very interesting. And I'm so glad that this show has been on mental health. Because everybody that has those bad reactions that we've seen with Flakka has been predisposed to have a disorder like schizophrenia, or those that might be prone to psychotic breaks and stuff like that. It's a psychosis.
Okay, so then the hype is the sensationalism then, because I saw a video, and obviously it's not a South African one.
We've all seen it.
Yeah, the one where people they're getting hit by cars, and they come in cars,
running into buses,
and they run into buses and they're bashing windscreens. What's going on there?
Listen, honestly, I mean, I deal with drug users the whole day long, and I started bringing this up, and I was a drug user for many years, and and I've never seen anybody do that. You know, you can't be well in the head to do something like that. I think everybody is blaming a drug. I'm not saying that it's not a precipitating event, which basically means that it opens that door. I'm not saying that it's not that, but I do not think that the drug itself can do that to a person. I used cat personally many years ago. I used stuff like crystal meth. I've spoken to people that have used the supposed Flakka. We've got offices across the country. We've got a hold of a lot of people, and every one of them is going, well, it's very similar to cats. No, I didn't want to eat somebody's face off.
How easy is it to get hold of?
Oh, come on. We're in 2017 in South Africa. Drugs, how easy are they to get hold of? Let's just walk outside and whistle. You know? It's going to be everywhere. I don't know if that particular drug is going to be everywhere. We found a couple of pockets, people saying that it's there. I just think it's more maybe people getting psychosis from different drugs like cats or crystal meth, and the word Flakka was just mentioned, then all of a sudden it's Flakka that's responsible.
What's this notion that it's disguised as candy?
Okay, so no. So I was on a investigative journalism program some years back, and we know that crystal meth has been disguised in your sugar straws. You know the kids' sugar straws that they buy? All right. Yes. Now, there was an investigation done, and we found out that there were actually really mean bastardly people that were literally putting crystal meth in these straws. Originally, it was for adult drug users at clubs or whatever the case may be, different colors, different flavors, but they quickly found that it was a great way to
get kids into it.
Okay. So, you know what, every now and then it does pop up. I say to people, the whole strawberry quick thing, you know, firstly, it is not real the way that they say that it is. You can't synthesize a strawberry-flavored methamphetamine. You can't. You can put flavoring in. And this is what they're doing. So they literally just put in a straw with some sugar and some flavoring, and there we go.
Okay, so am I overreacting?
I think yes.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't want to say to people who don't be concerned. I think it's very, very good to be concerned. You got to know what drugs are out there, what your kids are doing, when they're doing it, and that sort of stuff. But a drug like this, I don't think that the public should be as concerned as what they are. I think there's a bit of overreaction and a bit of sensationalism from the press side.
Okay. And as a parent, what would you say to parents about Flakka? What I'm hearing you say is it's the same as any other drug. Block them the same way you'd block them from cocaine and from crystal meth.
Being a dad myself, exactly the same thing.
Okay.
When you talk to your kids, say to them, listen, there's drugs out there. This is what they're going to do. Flakka's part of crystal meth and cats and that sort of stuff. And you know what? I think people should just do a little bit more research and ask a few more questions. Just because it's on Facebook or the internet doesn't mean it's true.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news. Quentin, thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to add about you? Where can we get you? You've got 20 seconds.
Okay, clearoption.co.za. There we go. I'm the drug expert on Twitter and what's that other? Instagram. And hook me on Facebook. There's a page as well.
Your name is the drug expert.
I'm the drug expert on Twitter and the Clear Option on Facebook. Also, the page Quentin van Kerken on
Because I know a lot of parents are going to be wanting to get hold of you.
Oh, I'm going to know my inbox is going to be full after this.
All right, thank you so much for that. Okay, so I was being a parent, because I saw this video and people are walking around like this and they were bashing things and it was Flakka, and I was like, I have to tell you guys, but, you know, he's calmed me down. But in any case, keep the communication lines between you and your children open so that you can know when something is wrong. Thank you so much for informing us. Flakka or any other illegal drug is extremely dangerous and one should never experiment with it. It's our responsibility to look out for our children and keep those communication lines open. Contact your nearest police station if you are aware of any drug dealings or possession around your area. Until next time, thank you so much, Ma'am Liliian Dube. Thank you to you for watching. Stop that around. I'll see you tomorrow. It's been a long day. Bye.